Good morning. Yes, in the previous classes we discussed about the correlation topic. So what is meant by correlation? Correlation is nothing but comparison of signals, right? Comparison of signals. So if you compare two different signals, then it is called cross correlation. If you compare the signal with itself only, then it is called autocorrelation. Okay. So here we are comparing the two signals means so these two signals are same in shape are but the second signal may be delayed with respect to the first signal. It may be delayed with respect to the first signal. So in that manner we will compare the two signals. Okay. So here x1 of t, x2 of t, two signals are there. We are comparing these two signals. That is the comparison of two different signals. That is called cross correlation. Comparison of two different signals is called cross correlation. Suppose if we compare the signal x1 of t with itself only, then that is called autocorrelation. Okay. So here the cross correlation is represented like this: j12 of tau is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x2 of t minus tau dt. So this is called cross correlation. And like this we can define the cross, or we can express mathematically the cross correlation function like equation number 5 and equation number 6. So from 5 and 6 we can conclude that j12 of tau is equal to j21 of minus tau. Okay. So this is the cross correlation function. And coming to the autocorrelation function, here we are comparing the signal x1 of t with itself only, with that signal only, that is j11 of tau. j11 of tau can be expressed as integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t minus tau dt, or we can express this as integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t plus tau into x1 of t dt. So from this from the above expression we can conclude that j11 of tau is equal to j11 of minus tau. It means that autocorrelation is an even function. It exists the condition j11 of tau is equal to j11 of minus tau, that is nothing but a condition for the even function. Okay. So j11 of tau equal to j11 of minus tau. So autocorrelation function is an even function. Autocorrelation function is an even function. Okay. Next, coming to the, already we discussed about the relation between correlation and convolution. If one of the function is an even function, if suppose two different functions are there, or two different signals are there, x1 of t and x2 of t. In this x1 of t and x2 of t, one of the function is an even function. If x2 of t is an even function, it means that x2 of minus t. So x1 of t and x2 of minus t. Then the convolution and correlation both are equivalent. So if one of the function or one of the signal is an even function at t equal to tau, then we can say that the correlation function and convolution both are equivalent. Okay. Next we discussed about the properties of correlation functions. So these are the properties of correlation functions. So j11 of tau is equal to x1 of omega square. So that is nothing but x mod x1 of omega square is nothing but pi into energy of the signal x1 of t. So but energy of the signal x1 of t is nothing but 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of mod x1 of omega square d omega. This is nothing but Parseval's theorem. Okay. So from this we can write x1 of mod x1 of omega square is equal to x of omega into x of minus omega. Okay. So by taking the Fourier transform of autocorrelation function j11 of t is equal to minus infinity to infinity integral minus infinity to infinity j11 of tau into e power minus j omega tau d tau, or which is nothing but mod of x1 of omega square. So finally we can say that Fourier transform of j11 of t is equal to phi into e1 of x, e1 of x1. Okay, phi into e of x1. So that is the, these are the properties of correlation. Okay. Next we'll discuss about the energy density spectrum, power density spectrum, and Parsel's theorem. Already we discussed these topics in earlier unit only, but here we will uh, we will revise it once. Okay, energy density function. So energy density function. What is energy density function? Energy. What for this energy density spectrum is used? So if you take the electrical systems, yes, so for electrical systems, a signal may represent a voltage or current. As we already know that for electrical systems, a signal may represent a voltage or current. Suppose voltage is considered, then V of t developed across a resistor R. So across the R, current will be produced, I of t will be produced. So the instantaneous power dissipated in this resistor is defined as P of t. Instantaneous power is P of t. So P of t, power is nothing but product of voltage and current. So here the instantaneous power P of t is defined as V of t into I of t. So V of t is nothing but voltage across the resistor R. So we can write V of t as I of t into R, or I of t as V of t by R. So from those two expressions we can write I of t is V of t by R. So already V of t is there. So V of t into V of t, that is V square of t by R, or P of t equal to V of t is nothing but I of t into R. I of t into I of t, I square t into R. Okay, we can write P of t in either ways. So it is equal to V square t by R or I square t into R. So in both cases, power P of t is proportional to the squared amplitude of the signal. So if if R is 1, then it will become P of t equal to V square of t, or P of t equal to I square of t. Okay, so that's why we write this as P of t equal to, in general we can write P of t equal to x square of t. X square of t, x of t may be either V of t or I of t. Okay, so for non-periodic signals, here non-periodic signals are called energy signals. As we already know that periodic signals are called power signals, non-periodic signals are called energy signals. We already discussed these concepts in our first unit only. Okay, non-periodic signals are called energy signals, and periodic signals are called power signals. So here non-periodic signals are called energy signals. So energy is calculated for non-periodic signals. Similarly, power is calculated for periodic signals. So the total energy of the continuous time signal x of t is defined as E. So capital E can be defined as limit t tends to infinity integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 x square of t dt. So it can be extended over the entire interval, that is integral minus infinity to infinity x square of t dt. So similarly for this is for continuous time signals. Similarly for discrete time signals, it is defined as E equal to sigma n is minus infinity to infinity x square of n. So Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega. So inverse Fourier transform of x of omega is x of t, that is nothing but 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into e power plus j omega t d omega. Let it be considered as equation number 1. So energy E of x of t is given by E equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x square of t dt. So we can expand this as x square of t as x of t into x of t. That is equation number 2. Okay. So substituting the value of x of t of equation number 1. What is x of t of equation number 1? That is 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into e power j omega t d omega. So substitute this equation in equation number 2. So replace 1 of the x of t by this expression 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into e power plus j omega t d omega. Okay, right. So this expression becomes E equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t. One x of t is already there. Another x of t is replaced by equation number 1, that is 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into e power j omega t d omega into dt. Okay, now interchanging the order of integration. Interchanging the order of integration, we get e equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into integral minus infinity to infinity x of t in t power j omega t dt into d omega. Here we are interchanging the order of integration. But x of minus omega is nothing but integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into e power minus is replaced by plus, that is e power plus j omega t d omega. So e equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega is already there, but this x integral minus infinity to infinity x of t in t power j omega t dt is replaced by x of minus omega. Okay, x of minus omega. So into d omega is already there. Actually this is dt. Okay, so this is integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into x of minus omega d omega. X of omega into x of minus omega is mod x of omega square d omega. Okay, so but omega equal to 2 pi f. So e equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x square of t dt is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square into d. Omega is replaced by 2 pi f. So here 2 pi gets cancelled. So it will become integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square df. Okay, so e equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x square of t dt is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square df. This is also nothing but a Parseval's theorem. Energy density spectrum, or it is also called as Parseval's theorem. So this equation states that the energy of a given signal by the area under the mod x of omega square curve. This is the curve x of mod x of omega square curve. So that is the integrated with respect to the frequency. Okay, that is df. So integrated with respect to frequency. This is the energy density spectrum, or also called as Parseval's theorem. Okay, energy density spectrum or Parseval's theorem. Okay, so next we are going to discuss about the interpretation of energy density and how to interpret this energy density. So energy of the signal E, as we already know that 1 by 2 pi, that was derived as 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square d omega. Okay, where x of t is the input signal, here r of t is the response or output, and h of t is the system function. Okay, so if the Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega, Fourier transform of r of t is r of omega, and Fourier transform of h of t is h of omega. So we can say that uh, uh, h of omega is equal to r of omega by x of omega. R of omega is nothing but the product of h of omega into x of omega. Let E naught be the energy of the output signal, that is r of t. So E naught equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity infinity x of omega into h of omega square d omega. Okay, x of omega into h of omega square d omega, right? Since h of omega is equal to 0 everywhere except over a narrow point delta omega where it is unity, which is as shown like this. So this is h of omega versus omega frequency. So h of omega response, this is the system function. H of omega is a system function, that is response, uh, impulse response, right? System function, h of omega is a system function. So it is represented like this. Okay, delta omega, this is change of omega. Okay, here f of t is the rectangular function over the interval minus t by 2 to t by 2. So the spectral density function of this f of t is represented like this. So this is f of omega versus omega. This is the spectral density. This is that is also called as magnitude function. Magnitude function is represented like this. Okay, so the energy density spectrum E, that is E equal to mod of f of omega square. So that is represented like this. Okay. Next, for delta omega tends to 0, so E naught is equal to 2 into 1 by 2 pi times x mod x of omega square into delta omega, or 2 into 1 by 2 pi x of omega square into delta of omega is replaced by 2 pi f or 2 pi by t. Okay. So it will become 2 pi gets cancelled. So E naught becomes 2 times of mod of x of omega naught square into delta f. So therefore the energy of the output signal is 2 times of x of omega square mod x of omega square into delta f. So sometimes x of omega is called spectrum of x of t, or x of omega is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into e power minus j omega t dt. This is nothing but Fourier transform. Okay. So the above equation describes the way in which relative signal amplitude or phase is distributed with frequency. If the amplitude is represented with frequency, then it is called amplitude spectrum. If it is represented with the phase, it is called phase spectrum. In the same way, equation number 1 represents the energy of the signal for different frequencies. So hence equation number 1 is called the energy density spectrum, E equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square d omega is nothing but the energy density spectrum, or sometimes it is also called as Parseval's theorem. Next, coming to the power density spectrum. So as we already know that non-periodic signals are called energy signals. So energy is calculated for non-periodic signals, and periodic signals are called power signals. So power is calculated for the periodic signal. So x of t is an arbitrary signal, arbitrary periodic signal. So power of the signal x of t is given by p equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 by t into integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 mod x of t whole square dt. That is equation number 1. It is also referred as mean square value of x of t, which is denoted by x square of t bar. Okay. So therefore x square of t bar is equal to p is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 by t times of integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 mod x of t square dt. So this is power density spectrum, or it is also referred as mean square value of x of t, that is x square of t bar. Okay. So this was already discussed, Parseval's theorem or energy density spectrum. Okay. This is 1 by 2 pi times integral minus infinity infinity mod x of omega square t mod of x of omega square d into d omega. Omega is replaced by 2 pi f, then 2 pi gets cancelled. So it will become integral minus infinity infinity mod x of omega square df. This is Parseval's theorem, or also called as energy density spectrum. Parseval's theorem or energy density spectrum. Okay. Okay, next we are going to discuss about the relation between autocorrelation and energy density spectrum. Autocorrelation and energy density spectrum. So consider, for autocorrelation one signal is enough. So let us consider an arbitrary signal x1 of t. So autocorrelation of the signal x1 of t, as we already know that is j11 of tau is equal to x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t. Okay. So x1 of t is an even signal. So that x1 of t is equal to x1 of minus t. So convolution in time domain is equal to simple multiplication in frequency domain. So x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t becomes x1 of omega into x1 of minus omega, or Fourier transform of j11 of tau is equal to x1 of omega into x1 of minus omega. That is equation number 2. Okay, equation number 2. So for equation number 2, so Fourier transform of j11 of tau is nothing but minus infinity infinity j11 of tau into e power minus j omega tau d tau. This is the basic equation of Fourier transform. Okay, so that is equal to, but j11 of tau is nothing but x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t. Okay, So that's why here we are writing x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t into e power minus omega tau d tau. By the definition of the convolution, x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t minus tau dt. Okay, t minus tau dt. Here x1 of minus t is nothing but x1 of t only. Why? Because here it is a autocorrelation function. Autocorrelation function is an even function, so that x1 of t is equal to x1 of minus t. Both are equal. That's why here x1 of minus t will become x1 of t minus tau d tau. So Fourier transform of j11 of tau is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity. Okay, uh, integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of so here we are taking the Fourier transform of this function. That's why this entire thing, Fourier transform of this entire thing, integral minus infinity to infinity, this entire thing into e power minus j omega tau d tau. Okay, so here we are interchanging the order of integration. Then it will become Fourier transform of j11 of tau is equal to integral minus infinity infinity x1 of t into integral minus infinity infinity x1 of t minus tau into d tau e power minus j omega tau d tau into dt. Okay, but integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of tau minus t minus tau into e power minus j omega tau d tau is considered as term A. Okay, so here x1 of t minus tau is the delayed version of x of t by tau units. Okay, so if the Fourier transform of x1 of tau is x1 of omega, now using the time delay property, time shifting property, then Fourier transform of x1 of t minus tau is nothing but e power j omega t into x1 of omega. Therefore Fourier transform of j11 of tau is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into this term A will replaced by e power j omega t into dt. Okay, into x1 of omega. Right. So it is equal to x1 of omega, extract it outside. So x1 of omega into integral minus infinity infinity x1 of t into e power minus of j into minus omega into t dt. This is nothing but a Fourier transform, that is x1 of minus omega. Okay, so Fourier transform of j11 of tau is equal to x1 of omega into x1 of minus omega. Hence it proved. Okay, hence it was proved. If tau equal to 0, for suppose tau becomes 0, so autocorrelation of j11 of tau becomes 0, then it will become, so replace tau by 0 in the above expression. So j11 of 0 is equal to integral minus infinity infinity x1 of t into x1 of t minus 0 into e power 0 into dt. E power 0 is 1. So it will become x1 of t into x1 of t dt, that is x1 of square t dt. So integral minus infinity to infinity x1 square t d tau or dt is the energy of the signal x1 of t. Okay, so referring to equation number 1, the value of the autocorrelation function at the origin is equal to the energy of the signal. Okay, so the value of the autocorrelation function at the origin, that is j equal to 0, is equal to the energy of the signal. So energy signal correlates perfectly with itself. Every signal correlates perfectly with itself. As the signal is shifted with respect to itself, the amount of the correlation will be reduced. Hence, the autocorrelation function will be maximum at tau equal to 0. Tau of 0 means no shift. Tau 0 means both signals are same, there is no time delay. So here autocorrelation will be maximum. So properties of correlation are as follows. J11 is nothing but autocorrelation, J12 is nothing but cross correlation, or it is also called as simply correlation. Okay, so these are the properties of correlation functions. First one is j11 of 0, autocorrelation at origin is equal to minus infinity integral minus infinity to infinity x1 square t dt. And second property is j11 of 0 is greater than mod j11 of tau Here tau is not equal to 0. Next, third property is J11 of tau is equal to J11 of minus tau. It means that autocorrelation function is an even function. Okay. Next, fourth property is the Fourier transform of J11 of tau becomes mod x1 of omega square, that is pi times of energy of the signal x1 of t, that is E of x1. Next, fifth property is J11 of 2, the Fourier transform of cross correlation function. J12 of tau is equal to x1 of omega multiplied by x2 of minus omega. And sixth property is J12 of tau is equal to J12 of minus tau. So here J21 of minus tau, this is nothing but J21 of minus tau, cross correlation function. Okay, first we will prove one by one. Okay, first property is J11 of 0 is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 square t dt. Okay, so it states that the value of autocorrelation function is maximum at origin. So J11 of tau, how it is defined, that is x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t. Okay, so it is a convolution formula, that is integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t minus tau dt. If you put tau equal to 0 here, then it will become integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t dt, that is nothing but integral minus infinity to infinity x1 square t dt, hence proved. So J11 of 0 is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 square t dt. And second property, J11 of 0 is greater than J11 of tau, such that tau is not equal to 0. Comparison of a signal with itself is known as autocorrelation, as we already know. If two signals are identical, then their correlation is equal to 1. If these two signals are equal, then this correlation is equal to 1. As the signal is shifted with respect to itself, the amount of correlation will be reduced. So therefore J11 of 0 is greater than J11 of tau, mod J11 of tau. Third property is J11 of tau is equal to J11 of minus tau. J11 of tau is equal to J11 of minus tau. Okay, how J11 of tau is defined, that is x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t. Okay, so that is defined as integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t minus tau dt, or we can write this as integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t plus tau into x1 of t dt. That is equation number 1. Similarly, you can write a J11 of minus tau as integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t plus tau dt. Similarly, it is integral minus infinity x1 of t minus tau into x1 of t dt. So this is equation number 2. So by comparing these two equations, these two are identical. Then we can write J11 of tau is equal to J11 of minus tau. So hence proved, hence proved, hence proved, hence proved. Next, coming to the fourth property, that is J11 of tau is equal to pi times of the energy of the signal x1 of t. So J11 of tau is x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t, that is x1 of t. Here it is a even function. So that is x1 of t convolved with x1 of t. That is equation number 1. So Fourier transform of x1 of t is x1 of omega. Taking Fourier transform on both sides for equation number 1, we get Fourier transform of J11 of tau is equal to Fourier transform of x1 of t into Fourier transform of x1 of t, that is x1 of omega multiplied by x1 of omega. So convolution in time domain becomes simple multiplication in frequency domain, that is Fourier transform of J11 of tau is equal to mod of x1 of omega whole square, where x1 of omega square is the energy of the signal x of t. So hence proved. So x1 of omega square is nothing but e times of pi times of e of x1. Okay, So J11 of tau is equal to pi times of energy of the signal x1, pi e x1. Next, last property is J12 of tau is equal to J21 of minus tau. So now we take the Fourier transform of J12 of tau is nothing but x1 of omega into x2 of minus omega. So how to write J12 of tau, that is convolution of x1 of t and x2 of minus t. So Fourier transform of x1 of t is x1 of omega and Fourier transform of x2 of minus t is x2 of minus omega. Using the convolution property of Fourier transform, convolution in time domain becomes multiplication in frequency domain. So J12 of tau is equal to x1 of omega into x2 of minus omega. Now we will see a small problem using the cross correlation. Find the cross correlation between u of t minus u of t minus tau and e power minus t n into u of t. Okay, so u of t minus u of t minus tau and e power minus t into u of t. So given that so these two signals will be considered as x1 of t and x2 of t. So first one is x1 of t. x1 of t is u of t minus u of t minus tau and x2 of t is e power minus t into u of t. So cross correlation between x1 of t and x2 of t is denoted by J12 of tau. Okay, but J12 of tau is nothing but x1 of t into x2 of t. Okay, so the Fourier transform of x1 of t is x1 of omega. Similarly, Fourier transform of x2 of t is x2 of omega. So convolution in time domain x1 of t convolved with x2 of t becomes multiplication in frequency domain, that is x1 of omega into x2 of omega. Here x1 of t is given as u of t minus u of t minus tau. So now we take the Fourier transform of x1 of t, that is Fourier transform of u of t minus u of t minus tau. Okay, so Fourier transform of x1 of t is equal to Fourier transform of u of t minus u of t minus tau, that is Fourier transform of u of t minus Fourier transform of u of t minus tau. So u of t is Fourier transform of u of t is pi into delta of omega plus 1 by j omega. This was already proved. Okay, using the time shifting property of Fourier transform, u of t minus tau is nothing but Fourier transform of u of t minus tau is nothing but e power minus j omega tau into u of omega. So u of t minus tau becomes e power minus j omega tau into u of omega is nothing but u of omega is that is pi into delta of omega plus 1 by j omega. So J12 of tau is equal to x of omega into x2 of omega. Substitute these values at here. So pi of delta of omega plus 1 by j omega minus e power j omega tau into pi of delta omega plus 1 by j omega into x2 of omega is 1 minus 1 by 1 plus j omega. So by simply multiply these two, we can get J12 of tau is equal to e power minus j omega tau into pi into delta omega plus 1 by j omega whole square. So this is the problem of about the cross correlation function. Okay, so this is about the today's class. So in the next class we will discuss about the remaining topics. With this I will conclude the today's session. Thank you.